Folks, everybody say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. Now is the time and place for meeting of the Beaverton Planning Commission. For the record, I will do a roll call to verify which commission members are participating this evening. I have Commissioner Holmes, I have Commissioner McCann, and I have Commissioner Speck. Let the record show that Commissioners Adams and Lago are excused and absent from the meeting tonight. We are now at Commission Communication. Commissioners, any communications? Staff, how about staff? Do you have anything to add today?
Good afternoon, Chair Winter. I'm Anna Slatinsky, Planning Division Manager in the Community Development Department in Beaverton. I just wanted to draw the Commissioner's attention to a mailer that they should have received recently about some boards and commissions events that are coming up. This includes a boards and commissions retreat on Monday, February 24th, which is in person at the Reeser. There is also an effective meetings training, which is optional on Monday, March 31st. And we also have a government ethics commission training. This is a new state law requirement, and each commissioner has to complete this once during their term. So if you have trouble locating this flyer, which you should have received by email, please go ahead and reach out to staff via email, and we will get that resent to you. But I just wanted to call your attention to it, and that is all of the staff communications I have for tonight.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is the application for LU 32024-00945, Fisher Rossi Storefronts, case file number HRA 32024-00942. The applicant has the burden of proving the applications are consistent with the Beaverton Development Code, the comprehensive plan, and any applicable Beaverton Code provisions. Criteria that must be addressed in the hearing are the Development Code section 40.35.15.1.c, alteration of a landmark. Testimony, arguments, and evidence must be directed toward these criteria. Other criteria in the Comprehensive Plan and Development Code that the speaker can use to apply to the application. Failure to raise an issue accompanied by statements or evidence sufficient to allow the Planning Commission and other interested parties an opportunity to respond to the issue may preclude an appeal to the Land Use Board of Appeals based on that issue. Anyone who submits written comments or gives oral testimony has standing to appeal this decision. Failure of the applicant to raise constitutional or other issues relating to the proposed conditions of approval with sufficient specificity to allow the city to respond to the issue may preclude an action for damages in circuit court. State and local law require commissioners to make certain disclosures. To these ends, the following question will be asked. Does any commissioner have a potential or actual conflict of interest, ex parte contacts, or site visits to declare? Commissioner Holmes.
I do not.
Commissioner McCann.
No to all three.
Commissioner Speck.
No.
Does any member of the audience wish to question a commissioner about ex parte contacts or site visits or challenge? Excuse me, before we go any further, I forgot to make my declaration. I visited the site. I did not have any contact, and I don't have any conflicts of interest. Continuing, does any member of the audience wish to question a commissioner about ex parte contacts or site visits or challenge the right of any commissioner to participate in this hearing? Being none, let the record show no response. Order of the public hearing tonight will be as follows. City staff will give a presentation followed by commissioners' questions of staff. The applicant will be given 20 minutes for his presentation, followed by the commission's questions of the applicant. Then members of the public in support of the application can speak for up to 5 minutes each. And members of the opposition opposed to the application can speak for up to 5 minutes each. Members of the public who are either in support or opposed will then have 5 minutes to speak. After public testimony, the applicant will have 5 minutes for rebuttal. The Planning Commission will then hear any final comments from staff. Now begin with the staff presentation.
All right. Are you all seeing my screen?
Yes.
Terrific. Well, good evening, Chair Winter and Commissioners. So nice to see you all. My name is Stephanie Lonsdale. I'm an assistant planner in the Community Development Department. As Commissioner Winter mentioned, the proposal before you tonight is Fisher Rossi Storefronts, alteration of a landmark historic review application. Please note you should have received a supplemental memo from staff prior to the hearing that makes a correction to an error within the January 29th staff report. The storefronts are located at 12438 and 12472 Southwest Broadway, and the subject site is approximately 0.13 acres in size. The historic Fisher Building is located on the south side of Southwest Broadway Street, north of Southwest Farmington Road in the adjacent railroad tracks, and west of Southwest Hall Boulevard, east of Southwest Watson Avenue. The subject site is zoned RCOT Old Town, as are the surrounding properties. Properties to the north contain automotive sales, to the east, commercial restaurant, and to the west, commercial retail use. Historic review aims to preserve and enhance our landmarks and districts, and within the context of development review, we do this by requiring a historic review land use application when changes are proposed. The extent of Beaverton's historic district is outlined in orange here, which goes as far north as Canyon Road and as far south as Southwest 2nd Street. In this view of the area, the site of the Fisher Building is outlined in red. I included a bonus photo of the historic plaque, maybe a familiar face there too. The building is called the Fisher Rossi Building by the owners. Fisher constructed it 1916, but later sold it to Rossi. The building is listed in the Beaverton Inventory of Historic Resources, which is identified in the staff report as Exhibit 1.3. A little bit of history on the Fisher Building. It was built as a retail commercial building in the Craftsman style. The central portion was constructed in 1916, and the eastern and western wings were built in the following years. The building is notable for its importance to Beaverton's historic commercial core and its emphasis on the pedestrian experience, with significant glazing on the north facade. Also, just a quick note on the two images. The top one is from the historic resource inventory from the mid-1980s. Showing the decorative metal cornice near the top of the building and the Craftsman style storefronts. The bottom picture is a present day look at the building from the intersection of West Street and Broadway Street. This image shows the original building and its eastern wing addition, the northern facade with transom windows and gabled entrances to the upstairs residences. The applicant here is requesting an alteration of a landmark for changes that include restoring two storefronts to better reflect the historic characteristics of the Fisher Building, including materials, fenestration, and architectural detailing. The project will remove a fabric awning on one of the storefronts and sign panels covering transom windows on both of the storefronts. This work will also update the storefronts to current ADA and building code standards. In this image of the existing barbershop storefront, you can see the transom windows covered with wood paneling. These are proposed to be removed, restoring the transom windows, repairing and replacing the sills, and installing new window components. In this image of the existing deli storefront, you can see the numerous architectural features that are not consistent with the building's historical features, the exception being the wood gable and truncated, or the wood gable and awning are historical, but it's been truncated for that fabric awning. So the project proposes to replace the aluminum storefront with a wood storefront and angled entry, to reconstruct a small portion of the gabled roof, and remove the awning and transom window coverings. Here's a depiction of an existing storefront in the Fisher Building that models the Craftsman architectural characteristics of the original facade. Second, we have a depiction of a wood-framed storefront, also from the Fisher Building, as an example of the original window framing style of the building. Staff finds that the proposal would preserve the historical character as well as enhance the architectural qualities of the original construction. And with that, staff concludes its presentation and recommends approval of Fisher Rossi Storefront's historic review, subject to the conditions of approval contained in the staff report. I am available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lawndale. Are there any questions of staff with regard to the proposed application? Seeing none, the applicant will now have 20 minutes for their presentation. Please begin by introducing yourself and stating your names and addresses for the record.
Good evening. My name is Alan Ford. I'm an architectural designer. I live at 235 Northeast Mason Street in Portland, Oregon. I consulted with the owner, Chuck Wilson, who is also in attendance in the meeting today, and did the measuring and the drawings. And I don't have anything else to add. I really appreciate the work that the staff has done on this. Stephanie summarized everything in my presentation really well. And we certainly hope that you'll grant us the approval to continue to on with this revitalization. Thank you.
That might be the briefest applicant presentation I've ever heard. Commissioners, any questions of the applicant with regard to the proposed application? Being none, we are now at the public testimony portion of this agenda item. We will call for testimony in groups, starting with those in favor of the application, then those in opposition to the application, and those neither in favor nor in opposition. As a reminder, testimony is limited to criteria that apply to the application. Now is the time for testimony in favor of the application. For those viewing via Zoom webinar, please communicate by using the raise hand feature in your Zoom menu bar. Calling in, press 9 to alert the chair that you would like to speak. I'm not seeing indication that we have any questions. Okay. We have any public testimony in opposition to the application? Oh, from oh, all right, I didn't see that one. Okay. Any contestants? Neither in opposition or in favor? Since we have none, there we go. The winner is. All right, moving along. Since there's no applicants, there's no questions by the commission. Now is the time for the rebuttal. I'm going to presume, Mr. Ford, that you were going to have as brief a rebuttal as you had a presentation. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. I have nothing to rebut.
Do the commissioners have any questions of the applicants on rebuttal? Okay, the final comments. Staff, before I run right over you, staff, do you have any final comments?
I do not. Thank you, Chair Winter.
With final comments completed, I will close the public hearing. So now is the time for deliberation, and as is our standard procedure, I will randomly call on commissioners to discuss their thoughts on the application. I'm just going to write down the list. Commissioner Holmes, what do you think?
Based on the staff report, I'm in alignment with their conclusions and in favor of allowing this application to proceed.
Thank you, Commissioner Holm. Commissioner McCann?
I second Commissioner Holmes's comments. Everything looked good. The proposal looked great. I'm excited actually to see the restoration being done on the building. I think it'll make the facade look a lot better. So it's great.
Thank you, Commissioner McCann. Commissioner Speck?
I agree with my fellow commissioners. I think that it'd be a nice upgrade to that historical fabric that's there and getting it back to its original intent.
Do I have a motion? I am the vice chair. I usually would make the motion, but I can't make the motions and run the meeting. So perhaps Commissioner McCann can take a wild stab at making the motion.
I will. I gotta pull up my numbers. Hang on. I wasn't prepared.
And I apologize for that. I probably should give it a heads up.
All right, so I propose or I move to approve the submittal number LU 3/2024-00945, HR 3/2024-00942, the Fisher Rossi storefront project based on the facts and findings described in the staff report that was dated January 29, 2025, and the supplemental memo provided today, February 5, 2025.
Thank you, Commissioner McCann. Is there a second, or is there any discussion? Both. Second,
I second.
Commissioner Holmes has seconded. Do we have any discussion? Seeing any discussion, no one has any salient thoughts. Okay. All those in favor of LU 32024-00945, the Rossi Historical Review Project, say aye.
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 All those opposed? Holmes, I didn't hear a vote.
I said aye, I think at the same time as Speck.
Okay, so the motion carries unanimously. Planning Commission's decision will be memorialized in land use orders that will be provided to all parties that provided oral and written testimony. If you would like to appeal this decision, you must appeal in accordance with the applicable provisions in the Beaver Development Code and the rules of the Land Use Board of Review. Now adjourned at 6:48 p.m.
All right, just as fast as that rebuttal.
That was remarkable. I don't think we've ever been done before 7 o'clock.
Thanks, everybody. That was a lickety-split meeting.
All right.
They aren't all this fast, but it's nice to have quick ones.
Oh,